again, everybody, and welcome to the Matilda Mossman Show. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Matilda Mossman. And Coach, win one, lose one, and you win a very good game at home. I mean, you have to feel pretty good about that game.
Did feel good about the East Carolina game with three people in double figures, two of those guys having double-doubles. Jessica Evans gets her first career double-double. Desiree Lewis gets a double-double. And then it's complemented by Maya Mayberry's 21 points. But then our other two starters in that game both led us in assists. So in my opinion, that was the best team game that we've played all year.
Well, and the best part to me was 21-9 in the fourth quarter. I know you know, and you didn't want to make this a bugaboo, but you had struggled in the fourth quarter. Not this time.
Well, people in the media were starting to make a big deal out of our fourth quarters, and so I was excited that we could have a not just a good fourth quarter, but really a dominating fourth quarter, so we could kind of get everybody thinking about something different.
Yeah, exactly. So that is no longer a storyline, as you shot very well in the fourth quarter and outscored them 21-9. And the important thing is you held them, I think, to 2 for 16 or something like that in the fourth quarter, where you could dominate the quarter.
Right, 2 for 16. It sounds like one of our quarters, you know, where we don't score very many. But I thought our team defended really well. Even though we had 22 turnovers in the game, I still felt like we handled their pressure well. We handled their changing defenses well. And mostly it's about how aggressive they are. You know, it's sometimes they would just fall back into a 3-2, but then on the first pass, they'll trap. And, you know, if our guys aren't ready for that, then, you know, there's a tendency to turn it over there. But most of our turnovers were early in the game just because we can't simulate that kind of pressure in practice, not having practice players this year because of all the COVID stuff. You know, it's hard to simulate. You know, not everybody has a LaShonda Monk. And so it's hard to simulate how aggressive she is and how quick her hands are and how she can get her hands on things to create steals, to create offense for them.
Yeah, and there are times they go 94 feet with their defense, right?
Absolutely.
They'll full court you, right?
Absolutely, and LaShonda's you know, the very front of all that.
Well, the Hurricane winning that game and shooting it well and coming up with, I think, was the game tied in the fourth and then you scored 14 in a row, something like that. I mean, it was very close in the fourth and then you guys just took off.
We had a lead and then they were able to kind of close it. And I think it was tied, I want to say 54 all, and then they didn't score in the last maybe at least 4 minutes of the game.
Yep, so that was huge, and the Hurricane getting to 3-5 in the league. And then on Saturday, Coach, you take on a Memphis team that you had beaten at home, and hopefully, you know, trying to replicate that if you could. And early on you did. You had a very good start against the Tigers.
We had a great start. You know, one of our best first quarters all year long. We outscored them 23-10, and we had momentum because to finish off that first quarter, we had a rebound and a pass and then another pass to Ella for a layup, like just milliseconds before the buzzer went off. So we felt like, wow, we got momentum right now. We're up by 13. Now let's go into this second quarter and build on that. Well, things didn't go well. First of all, Maya Mayberry picked up her second foul literally halfway through the first quarter. So she's not even playing she's played basically 5.5 minutes. And then in the second quarter, Wivette picks up her second foul with like 7:38 to play. So now we're playing without our two leading scorers for a long period of time. And we ended up putting Maya back in with about 2 minutes just to be able to get something going again offensively, because it took us almost 3.5 minutes to score in the second quarter. And then we didn't score again until there were 47 seconds left. So it was just a struggle. And then in the meantime, Memphis is catching up. They actually built a 4 or 6 point lead. And then we were able to hit 2 free throws and hit a field goal at the end to go into halftime only down 2. So we felt fortunate to only be down 2 at that point.
Yeah, they flipped the tables on you, if you will, 23-10. You win the first quarter. They win the second quarter 23-8. So as you mentioned, you're down by 2 at halftime, but you're still in the fight.
Right. And then we played pretty even third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, we just couldn't get over the hump. They kind of built up a lead, and we tie it, and then they build up a 6, 8 point lead again. And their 2 post players were dominating. Mengiadu and Atlanta Davis. They both scored in double figures. Mengiadu had 14 rebounds. Davis had 9 rebounds. But they always have that third person that really hurts you. In the game here, their post players, did what they normally do. But then Ty Jones had a career night against us, but it wasn't enough to defeat us. When we go to their place, their post players did their normal thing, but then Kariah Beck, a freshman, went off for a career, I think, 16 points. Mm-hmm. So, but that was just enough to beat us. And again, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. Our interior defense wasn't as good as it was in the first game, and we allowed them too many points in the paint.
Yeah, Fancom, Mengiadu, and Davis combined for 12 free throws. And when they're doing that inside and you're forced to foul, or at least you do foul, and they converted most of them, that really hurts.
And that's the other thing. We only got to the line 7 times. That's on us. We're not hitting outside shots. We have to go attack the basket. And, it was such a difference in the ECU game. In the ECU game, we made more free throws than they shot. And that's what we're trying to do in every game. So for us to only go 6 for 7 at the free throw line against Memphis, that's on us for not attacking and not getting ourselves the free throw line. And
turnover-wise, you had only 12 in the game against Memphis. And again, one of the things that's a real positive about your defense is you do force turnovers. You forced 22 again against Memphis.
Right. I think we forced them into 26 the first time, 22 the second time. And literally there was one time that we came out of a timeout in like a half-court press, and they inbounded the ball and immediately just threw it out of bounds. So there was it wasn't like we were trapping and pressuring. It's just we showed them something different. And, keeping the ball out of the paint was key. And ultimately, in the end, we weren't able to keep the ball out of the paint enough.
Yeah, and so Memphis ends up winning the game 59-50, and so Tulsa now at 3-6 in the American, 4-6 overall. Memphis goes to 2-4 in the league and 4-7 overall. And when we take a peek at the standings in a little bit, again, right as it seems to be every year, right in the middle of the league, there's this just jumble of teams, isn't there?
Yeah, and I don't know what the conference is going to do about. There were 2 teams in the league that played SMU early and both got wins, and East Carolina is one of those. Mm-hmm. And so right now, East Carolina has one more win than us in the standings, and that win is against SMU. And we didn't have that opportunity to play SMU. So, and I think Tulane was the other team that got the win against SMU. So, I'm not sure how that's going to affect things down the road, but it could come into play.
Yeah, it could end up being a very uneven number of games between some of the teams in the league because SMU opted out of the rest of the seasons. We'll see how that works out. In a moment, we'll be back and we'll talk about the week to come as we continue with head basketball coach Matilda Mossman.
Are the American.
What is true blue? It's true loyalty, supporting others with unwavering commitment. It's true innovation, thinking creatively and strategically to make a difference. It's true strength, taking risks and standing up for what's right. True Blue is a 125-year legacy. Find the true you at the University of Tulsa.
We're back on the Matilda Mossman Show, and Coach, you get ready for East Carolina. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? You just got done beating them not too long ago.
10 days ago, to be exact. We've had the Memphis game in between, and their only other game in between would be the UCF game that they're playing on Wednesday. So neither one of us has really had a chance to build up a lot of momentum, so to speak. Each of us has had one game in 10 days. So we will have had the longer layoff before we play, but we're going to have to do that travel thing to Greenville, North Carolina, which is never fun. But I think we're very even with them. I think our strengths are different than their strengths, and we're going to have to go in there and be able to take care of the ball.
East Carolina with the midweek game against UCF. You don't have the midweek game, so what can you get done during an entire week when you have the midweek off?
We use Monday and Tuesday just to kind of do some things for us, just work on ball movement, work on reading defenders, work on, one-on-one situations. And now Wednesday, day off, and then Thursday and Friday is all about, working the scout to play ECU.
Yeah, and get ready for a travel day on Friday, and then get ready for what's going to be a doubleheader with the men and the women in Greenville coming up on Saturday. And your game is the second game. And the good thing is East Carolina, Greenville, a difficult place to get to normally when you're talking about charter or when you're talking about non-charter flights. Fortunately enough, both the guys and the ladies will go together, and so that'll be a good situation travel-wise for everybody.
Yeah, it'd be a unique opportunity for both teams to travel together, and it does allow us to fly right into Greenville, which when you have to fly into Raleigh, that's another hour and a half drive
right.
To get there. So sometimes just getting there can take you all day, but fortunately with the opportunity to be on the charter with the guys, that saves some wear and tear on our kids.
Absolutely. Coach, have a great week, and we will see you in Greenville.
All right, sounds good.
That wraps it up for the Matilda Mossman Show. I'm Bruce Howard. So long for now.